What's up, everybody? Oh my gosh, it is Monday again. I know it feels like we were just here, but tonight, September 14th, it is a Monday. It is Practical Magic, Manifesting Mondays. I'm so excited. Yes, and my name is Donna V, and this is
Tracy Locke.
And this is
Kim Mazzella.
Oh, we are so excited to be here.
Wait. Kim Mazzella, a professional life coach.
Kim
Mazzella.
Life coach.
Sorry.
Ooh, you got the drum roll.
Sorry.
Drum roll.
Exactly.
We're so excited. I look forward to this all week. I'm like so excited. And I want to give a special shout out because I'm so very excited about this. We're live on a lot of different pages, but on the Tracy Locke comedy page, we are live right now. So I'd like to tell all the people on Tracy Locke comedy page, we just created a brand new page called Manifesting Mondays on Practical Magic, and it will be shown live there. So I want to say thanks to all the fans who know us as wacky and funny. You get to see our serious side too.
Yes.
Donna V comedy, Girls Gone Green, all our green beaners. You got to see a serious side of Donna and myself and Kim, and we're so excited for you to do that. But all of you, try to take a look at our new page, again, called Manifesting Mondays on Practical Magic. It's on Facebook. We also have an Instagram page, and we will be having a YouTube page coming up. So, golly.
Wow. I was gone for like 2 seconds, and all this happened. I love that.
Yes.
You know what I'm going to do? I'll put the name of it up. It's Manifesting Mondays on Practical Magic.
We are moving and shaking. And Kim, I have gotten so many comments about people so excited for their 5 steps tonight. So I hope you are ready and stretched and feeling good.
You know, it's funny. I was thinking about what you were saying about like, this is your serious side. And I always say when I was growing up, I was like the straight guy in the comedy act. Like I had like 2 really funny sibs and I was always like the one that laughed at their jokes. Like everybody needs someone to laugh at their jokes. And here I am playing my role.
Saying it again. Good. Yes.
Ooh, really quick, I have to say a couple things. I'm sorry.
Yes, no problem.
Frank Simon is on, and he just had open heart surgery today.
He's on.
He's on.
We love you.
We were sent him love and light this morning on Storytime.
Yes.
And I just went over to the comments, and Frank Simon says, "Guess who?"
What?
Oh.
So that's amazing. We hope that you're doing great. And then we have Christopher Estrite.
Thank you.
Can you call Isaac? Tell him not to call me, babe. He keeps calling.
Oh,
hold on.
And then we have a beautiful Christina J. Kimes. How are you guys all doing tonight? Frank, I hope you're doing really well. And everybody's saying get better to Frank.
Yeah, get better.
I don't know. Oh.
Nobody call Tracy.
Yeah. Did you guys hear me? Or hold on.
Yeah. You got to go back out and come back in, Trace.
What do I do?
There she is.
Oh, there I am. Okay. Sorry about that. I just have to explain what's happening. So 1 second. My nephew that you know, Donna, Little I Buy, the Steelers are playing right now. So whenever there's a big play, he gives me a call to rub it in because my Eagles suck. That's what's happening.
Well, you know what's really funny? I didn't even realize it, and I made our colors gold and black tonight.
Oh, look at you!
And
wow.
He corrected me. It wasn't open heart. It was a catheterized surgery. They put 2 stents in.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
That's still insane.
It's a big deal, Frank. That's a big deal that you're here tonight.
But you made it, and that just shows the dedication of a fan.
Hey, John.
And then John Maloney's here.
Dawn.
All right, go for it, Trace.
Okay, I'm so, like I said to Kim, so excited. 5 steps to manifesting. So, all right, I'd like you to start because I don't even have a question yet until you get into the nitty gritty of. No, wait, I do have a question. Actually, you know that I'm going to come up with one. So are these the definitive 5? These are like, if you're just starting about how to manifest, how would you describe these 5 steps?
These are important to know. Like there's 3, we talked about the 3 ways that we manifest, like the 3 rules of manifesting, which is the law of attraction, which is like attracts like, and then we could deliberately attract something, which is the science of deliberate creation, and then the art of allowing. But the 5 steps are actually the process in which you get better and better at manifesting. And the first 3 steps are the really most important ones to know when you're a beginner. They're really the most important ones to know. And something has come up again and again in my experience, and I want to really remind people that are in the process of manifesting. Manifesting is not about getting out there and making it happen and going out in the world and I'm going to make it happen, right? Manifesting is allowing. It's sitting back and getting excited. The most important thing, if you don't learn anything else about manifesting, if you don't learn one thing, the way to manifest whatever you want is to simply be in joy, to
Yes.
be in joy, to
Right.
be where you are. Because if you're trying to like do it and really make it happen, and we've all been there, because I know in my job, like there's times where it's like, I got to make it happen. Then take a step back and say, am I enjoying this right now? Right? Am I enjoying this night right now? And right in here, what does my inner guide think about this? This like this is a question so what does my inner guide think about this? Means if I'm not feeling happy, I'm not aligned with my best self. So before, like, I always want to put that out before we even like talk about the steps, right? Be in joy. And it's
Do you know what?
because,
Wait, can I tell you why that's so crazy, Kim?
well,
I got a comment today that said that they want, they know that I asked the questions, and they were one of the questions I got today was, what's the difference that you ladies were talking about between doing the work and the art of allowing, which is exactly what you're talking about. So that's so interesting.
Right. So yes, I do think it's important to meditate. Yes, I do. I think it's actually more important than any of the work you do. Like literally, if you want to be inspired and live an inspired life, don't do anything else. Just meditate for 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, 4 minutes a day. If you don't do anything else, do that. And just sit there and just allow it to come to you. We are not trained in allowing. And so we've got to train ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to say something, Donna?
Well, I just have to say this, Kevin Goatee. Hello, Kevin Goatee. Since we started Manifesting Mondays, one of the things I've put into practice from the both of you, which I never did before because I thought I was like, yeah, right, is meditating. And I put a timer on my watch and I set it for 20 minutes. I'm going to tell you, the first like 5 days I did it, I was like, oh my God, I kept looking at my watch. Now, when the buzzer goes off, I'm like, oh my God, that was 20 minutes. And it only took me, 2 weeks? Which is amazing.
Awesome.
I would think like it would take.
That is amazing. Amen.
Yeah. So it does. It's like, wow. Okay.
And one of the things that I really think is like, so don't judge like how you meditate, because I've been meditating for 20 years and there's still times where I like, how long have I been at this? Right? Like, oh, it's 3 minutes. Oh my God.
Right.
Like, I always find like 10 minutes in is when I kick back. Like I have to go through like what do I want to have for dinner tonight? Oh, bring it back. Oh, like bring it back. Oh, bring it back. And so really it's like, if you can just learn to let your mind be, my life has become so much more inspired since I've started meditating. And I fought it too. Like I fought it for years, because notice I said 20 years and I've been studying this for 30 years. So really, I haven't really gotten
the thing that you said, Kim, that was really great. And Donna said it too, but I think this is really a practical help, is every time my mind would wander, I would think what you said, Kim, that flickering candle. I would be like, okay, bring it back to that flickering candle. Yeah. Which is like you're thinking of something. What?
Find a noise. Like I know Esther Hicks always talks about the sound of the air conditioner. Because a lot of people feel that they have to have an outside source to like, get a radio, get a CD, get something, whatever, MP3. I don't even know what the hell it's called. But you don't need that.
A Victrola.
Right. Exactly. A space box. But you can find something that you don't even recognize is even out there in your house. Like the crickets. I love that.
Another thing that I do is that I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like alternate nostril breathing. There's a word, Nadi Shodhana or something like that. If you're
sounds about right to me.
Yeah. Well, in my yoga class they say it, and then I tried to repeat it and I probably got it wrong. But so you take these two fingers, right? Your ring finger and your thumb, and you and you open up one nostril.
Okay.
And you breathe all the way in. And then you close both nostrils and you hold it for a second, and then you breathe out the other nostril. Exhale completely. Then you keep your finger there, and the nostril that you exhaled from, you breathe all the way in. Close and then exhale all the way out. I can't believe I'm doing this now.
No, that's great.
This is a really good way. It brings you right here. It's just a way to, like, if I'm really struggling with meditation, I feel like it's funny because in my teaching, I don't even teach that to like the 9th class, because I try to teach really simple things that people can do. But that to me is like, for me, I do that. I also meditate with sound, because that also is another way, like om, ah. But I actually go lam, bam, ram, yam, ham, om, ah. But I could have a whole class on that.
You could. Dawn said she hasn't meditated all week and she's paying for it now.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I
that's
can't believe
this
how much you
judgment
can tell the
line.
difference. Right, but you really can. It's so interesting. Again, as someone who was like, yeah, whatever, right, and has just been doing it for a very short time. Even I'm complete novice and new to it. I was like, wow, I can tell the difference when I do it and when I don't do it, which is so crazy to me.
Right.
That 20 minutes would make that much of a difference in your life.
Yeah. We have one person, Christina said, can we please send light for her niece? She's been in and out of the hospital for seizures and she's only 14.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. What's her name?
Let me see if she wrote that. Since Saturday. She didn't write her name. But Christina, if you would mind sharing her name with us.
Or her initials?
Initials, if you want to, yeah, for privacy.
Well, why don't we just do that right now, real quick? Everybody just picture this girl. We're just going to picture her, and wherever she is, imagine that we're all sending from the center of our heart white light. And this white light is pure positive love. Whatever's in your heart that is pure positive love, we just ask the universe to send it out right now and send it right into the center of her niece's heart. And just imagine that, is Autumn her name? Imagine that the light goes into Autumn's heart and goes out into every cell and just heals every cell. Thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Okay.
Good.
You know what? One of the things that I really want to mention, when you say I'll pray for them, do me a favor. Do it right then. Like I will, or else you won't. And then it's nothing. But it really, here's the thing I know. Oh my gosh.
Giving somebody a nickel on the street or $1 or whatever. And you're like, I'll donate later. Donate right then.
Right. Donate right then. Or don't even say you're going to do it. Just do it right then. Because here's the things that I'm learning. I really feel like I've gotten to the point where I really realize that our energy is so infectious, right? Energy is infectious. And so I feel almost like it's so important for me to do step 4, which is what we're going to talk about, to really be in step 4, which is refuse to allow yourself to move out of the vortex, which I'll have to explain also. Refuse to allow yourself to become unhappy. And if you do become happy, take every step possible to get back there. Why? Because the whole world has a possibility of being lifted up by your joy. That's it. That's simple. That's why I love hanging out with you guys, because you're funny.
Woo, we love it. All right.
Fun.
But
All right,
like I said, I talk about that every morning with story time. I talk about that, as silly as it sounds, but breaking it down even for kids even further. That's why I do the thing with the bear as a representative of one way to have like that source of light that goes back and forth. But then I have music bear and I have, hug bear and wish bear. The reason I do that is because it's an elementary way to explain to people that there are very many vessels to find joy. So for you, if it's music, then music is what you need to put around you to elevate your spirit. Yeah. Some people, they don't really, they don't align with that.
We could make like a cartoon series out of it with like a bear with whatever you like. Maybe we could call it Care Bears.
Well,
I think that was around.
Do you remember where each bear would have whatever
they
they
would shoot
like?
out of their heart? But that's not
I think I'm a little older than you, because I was old when they came out. I didn't want to talk about
it. But that's not even why I'm doing it. Is what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, from your heart center, you could do it. She's always a comedian.
But you know what? I appreciate the levity, but I love what you're saying, Donna. I really do.
Definitely.
So, talking about the steps, step number 1 is what we're doing every day, all day long. We're asking. And one of the things that I feel like sometimes people come from backgrounds or experiences where like they feel so bad about asking. And so one of the things I want to mention, even before you get to manifesting, even before you try, is that we're supposed to want. We're supposed to want, and we're supposed to experience joy in wanting. And that's what allowing is. Yearning and wanting is feeling like you don't have it, right? We're supposed to want with expectation and joy. And the world has so much stuff in it, right? So much great stuff in it. And all that great stuff is out there so that you can see opportunity for you, right? See opportunity for you. And so it's okay to want, right? That's before you even get started. If you have guilt over wanting, then that's the first thing you got to work on, because
Right.
no one is going to come into this planet not wanting. It's part of the reason why we're here is to
Right.
explore and expand the universe, right? So your wanting is actually necessary for the universe to expand. Does that make sense?
That makes total sense. And my question to both of you is this: once you ask once, can you keep asking, or should you step back and allow? And if you
That's
keep
such a
asking, is it weird energy of like, yeah, I heard you the first 5 times that you asked me. You're both moms, so you can answer that from that angle.
Do you want to answer it, Donna, or you want me to go for it?
Well, you have a better way of answering. I could say the simple way is divine timing. So you could ask all you want, but if you're not going to allow it to happen and you just keep asking, I think that's the path of least resistance. And you're actually going to create a reason for it not to show up.
Well, we do want to be on the path of least resistance. I think you meant most resistance. So asking, we're going to ask more than one. We can't help it. It's human, right? To just, but the more you ask for something, see, the thing is that asking, once you've asked, step 2 comes in and the universe says yes. And then what the universe does is it lines everything up. It creates it. It's like the universe says, absolutely yes. There's an energy out there. You say, I want it. The requisition form is filled. It's all waiting there at the store, right? But what happens is it doesn't get shipped, because it doesn't get shipped until you pay. And how you pay is by aligning with it, by becoming it in your energy field, which is step 3. So it's ask, the universe says yes, and then you have to allow. And you allow by becoming. You allow by, so if you say, I want a boyfriend, right? I want a boyfriend. I just really want a boyfriend. But you live this very, very busy life and you're full of friends and you're always doing a billion things, and someone asks you out and you look at and you're like, right, you're not really ready. You're not really ready for a boyfriend, right? So in wanting a boyfriend, you create a little space in your closet. You say, this is going to be space for my boyfriend. You maybe create space in your calendar. When my boyfriend comes, I'm going to make sure that I'm willing to move some time, right? I'm not saying give up your life for your boyfriend. What I'm saying is, if you really wanted that, you'd have to find the time. Or when the boyfriend shows up, you have the time, but you don't want to have to do what they want to do. You don't want to have to, you should always want to do what they want to do. So you don't want to have to, like, there's things that you find yourself, and then it gets like, oh, this is too much work. So you're really not ready for a boyfriend. What you have to do is like, be ready, be excited about it. Know that you want to add this to your life, be looking forward to the addition to your life, feeling like you have so much to give, feeling so excited to like learn a new world. That's how you align with wanting a boyfriend. And expecting it
to just be that person wasn't the right one for you.
Yeah.
Because if you don't want to do what they want to do, you might have time to do it, but you're like, I don't want to go play long.
Actually, the secret is, when they say is it the secret came from Abraham Hicks. That's,
yes.
Because people are like, oh, I know that's a secret.
Yes. Okay, wait. So just to clarify, step 1 is ask. Step 2 is allow.
No,
correct?
Step 2 is it's given.
It is given.
It is given. It's given. I'm writing it down so we can. Step 2 is it's
given. And then step 3 is align with it, allow it,
become it. Yeah,
become it.
Okay.
So step 3 is the hardest part, because really, honestly, that's why you could spend your whole life never getting to step 4, right? And many people do. But like, so becoming it, part of becoming it, there's so many things to understand. Like, becoming it is getting so good at it. One of the things my first teacher, I'll never forget, said to me is, you want to get so good at getting things that you recognize that getting things is not that important, right?
Okay.
Like, because you could create whatever you want. Because that's really what we have to understand. We can create whatever we want, but the universe allows it. The world we live in will say that's not true. Right. I remember when I said I was going to become a life coach, and there must have been 20 people that said, really? That field is so saturated. Really? You want to do that? Like, there's so many of them out there, right? Like, this is the messages I got. Now, I got those messages because I was aligned with fear and doubt, right? When I moved into that space of, isn't it great that there's so many life coaches out there? There's so many people to learn from, and so much that I could learn, and I'm always going to be learning. And if I'm in this field, I'm going to meet other like people, and I'm going to create a community of people just like me. And oh my gosh, it's going to be so much fun. Because the more confident I became in what I wanted to do, the less I heard anybody say, wow, you really want to do that? That field is so
Absolutely.
special. Right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
That
Okay.
makes total sense.
Yeah.
All right. So when you allow it, you become it. If you can go into more detail. So for instance, like Donna, you're great at giving like hardcore examples. So what that seems like a real nebulous thing. Become it, allow it. Talk
Yeah.
about like, give me a real life scenario.
Buy the ski clothes and then book the trip. It's like, you're not going to only have summer clothes and then plan a ski vacation.
Okay.
It's like what Kim said about the relationship. If you want a relationship, you're going to make room in your closet. You're not going to have no room anywhere, because then it's like, well, how can it actually show up? It doesn't show
Right.
up if there's no room, because you're giving off the vibe and the energy that, well, there's no room for you here. So why would it happen? I'm going through this major manifestation right now that is insane when I tell you. And like, it's all with this whole work thing. We've talked about it, right? And lots of changes. I think it's being excited about what you want to manifest is also a part of it, right, Kim?
Yeah. And so being excited. And the thing is, one of the blessings of manifestation is that space between the thought and the outcome.
Yeah.
Because I always say, like, there was this room in my house years ago, and I always kept thinking about how I wanted to decorate it, and I would like think about how I wanted to decorate it and what I wanted to do to decorate it. And when I really was thinking about it, I was going in one direction. And like by the time I got to the point where I was decorating it, I loved the way the room turned out, but it was like so not anywhere related to the way I originally planned it. Christina, you're positive.
She's ready. Christina, you are ready for a big man to come into your life. I like it. I like it.
So the space time, what happens is the universe gives us time, because time is of this world. It's only in this world. So it's this thing that the universe has given us so that we don't because we've come here to clarify what we want to manifest, right? So if you think about maybe in other realms, if you believe in that, or if you don't, or in spirit world, you think about something, it shows up, right? It's right there. We think about things and then we're given time to make it delicious and awesome and fabulous. And and that time when we're thinking about it, it should be as joyful as when it shows up. What happens is then in that time we have a little doubt, and they call this the wobble, right? And then you get a little doubt. And when you get that doubt, you say, oh, why do you want to be a life coach? There's so many of them, right?
Wobble, baby, wobble, baby.
So, and then it gets larger if you don't deal with it. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger until you're not aligned with it anymore. So our job in that space is to get aligned, to get excited, and to let it go, right? That's why I said it's more important to be in joy. Like if you're trying to get clients, right? And you have a business and you want to get clients, the worst thing that you could do is like, I got to get clients. I got to get, right?
Right.
But if you're just like, oh my gosh, I love what I do and it's so exciting and I can't wait to share this information with as many people as possible. And I can't wait to work one-on-one with people, because I know that I can, whatever it is that you want your clients to benefit from. And if you're just so excited about what you're going to benefit them, they'll find you, right? They'll find you.
Totally, yes. All right, so Christina said she's been waiting since 2009. And what is she doing wrong?
Okay, well, I'd have to really go into her belief system. So there's a couple things, right? So part of like aligning with finding someone is also being willing to do it a different way, right? To recognize that maybe my way isn't working. Also, it depends. I mean, have you not dated since 2009, or is it you've gone through a series of men that are women? I don't know what your brand is, but I mean, like
like my brand is rich, just rich.
So there's a bunch of things, and sometimes we have beliefs that just knock up against what we want. Like, I'm never gonna find anybody. Like, I'm undateable. I'm not good enough. Why would anybody want me? I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. And so even if we overcome those things, like say we're overcoming these things and we stay in our house and don't put ourselves out there at all. I never really actually, I'm a big fan of going and doing things that you love to do and asking the universe to, you want, like if you love flowers, go to a flower show, go and do what you love to do. You have to get out in the universe and like show up in the world. So working from home is great, but it's not a great way to meet people. So that's why the universe has offered us things like, I don't know, what are the names of the dating websites, Bumble and
Donna V, that's you. We're going to you for that. Throw the pass to Donna V. No, can I throw something in there that I think was Abraham Hicks, or it might have been you, Kim Mazzella. So one thing that I do remember hearing, and I want to say I almost heard it yesterday or the day before because I'm listening to Abraham Hicks in the morning, that I thought was a great one that lets you focus on not the guy. She said, become the person that person would want to date.
Yeah.
Meaning, not that you're not trying to be something for somebody else, but if you have a standard in your life of I'm going to be X, Y, and Z, you got to become that person for that person to show up, which I thought was a great way to like just focus on yourself. What kind of partner do you want to be? What kind of guy do you want? Then you have to become that equal. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
But it's the exact same thing with anything else you're trying to manifest. If you're trying to manifest clients, then you got to become the person that your ideal client, like your ideal client would not be interested in a person like, I've got to get you to pay me, right? Your ideal client would be like, what you do is so cool and I just can't wait to learn it, right? So those are the people you're attracting, right? Not the people, and if you're going to charge me 60 grand to learn it, I can't wait, right? Like, or whatever, like whatever it is that floating your boat. I mean, so anything that you want to try to manifest, that's kind of the rule, right? Like, is that you have to become the person that you're trying to attract. I actually gave a class the other day and I said, in every situation you meet yourself, right? So how could you meet, no one's looking for somebody like, hey, you're in a really low position. Let me pull you out of it and drag you with me, right? Like no one's doing that. So being creative, being in yourself, enjoying yourself, having a big circle of friends, if that's the thing that you want to create, not everybody wants it. But also not saying like, if you haven't really met somebody since 2009, that doesn't exist. All those years don't exist because you learned something in every single one of those years. You can't say, oh, it's not working for me just because it hasn't worked in the past. That's not a good indicator. You didn't know what you know now. You didn't have the experience you have now. Who you were then isn't who you are. That's going to attract. I think that sometimes we use that past, and that past becomes like a yeah, and not even that, it weighs us down. It becomes an anchor that we can't lift ourselves out from because we look at it and we use the past to say we failed when it just hasn't been your time. Like you're just not aligned, right? Maybe the universe is protecting you from a whole bunch of bad guys or girls, right? So like you, right? Or rich people.
Got to be ready for those dollars. People gotta know what to do with it. Yeah, exactly. All right, so that's 3, and you said some people can't even get to 4. I can't wait to hear what 4 is. Step 4.
Dawn said she's stuck on 3.
Oh, stuck on 3.
Well, I think that we're on various steps. Let me go back to something. And step 1 is actually not terrible. So if you're at step 1 on something, right? If you're at step 1, you're reveling in contrast, right? What does that mean? So it means that the universe is helping you clarify, right? So that sounds great. But if you're like really broke, right? You really want money. Before, when you were just semi-broke, you kind of didn't, like more money. But if you're super broke and you're feeling like really, really like pressure about finances, now you're really clear. The only thing is that it's harder the more contrast there is, because your vibration lowers. So you got to figure out a way to align. And sometimes it's just focus on the things that doesn't mean you could just go out and charge up your cards because you're like, I'm going to focus on what it means is that while you're doing the steps in the world that people do to get unbroke, you're also doing the steps in energy to get yourself feeling better than you were feeling the day before. So
you can harm yourself with desperation energy.
Oh my gosh, amen. Like I'm gonna actually write that as a quote. Can I steal that from you?
Yeah.
I'll write Donna V at the back. You can harm me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that. Well, you know what's so funny that it pertains to that in a funny comedic way that is like people can relate to. Do you guys remember on Seinfeld where George Costanza is just like, I'm just going to do the opposite of everything I normally do because I never do anything, and he does it, and then all these things start happening because
Yes.
he just says what he believes instead of like. He'll just make up a story of who he actually is, which I mean,
Art Vanderlei.
yeah, well, we're taking that over the top, but it is kind of a lesson of like, you know what? You've got to believe that you're this, whatever you want to be, and then that energy will actually attract it. It was, do you guys remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
just
yeah,
does
yeah.
the exact opposite and no longer looks at himself as a loser. He's like, I'm a total winner. And then all these women start coming and jobs start coming. And it's like,
Because
he's
that's
like,
manifestation, right?
right.
It was, so faking it till you make it. Although it's more than faking it till you make it when it
Yes.
comes to manifestation. It's really practicing new energy or trying on new ideas until you find ones that bring you up. So it's always your thoughts that will bring you energetically higher. So if you're stuck on step 3, which means you're stuck on just allowing it to come, sometimes you have to pull back and figure out, like, if that thing's not going to bring you joy, like if you've tried to visualize it and make it fun, if you've tried to write a script and make it fun, you've done the work and it's still not bringing you joy, if you then focus on joyful things. I mean, I don't know, Donna, if you remember back in the day, years ago, I used to tell people, before, go on YouTube, let me tell you how to get there, and watch comedians.
Yeah.
And there was like 6 of them. This was like on YouTube. Now you have like your choice of it, right? If you're really feeling like to bring your vibration up, is just focus on. One of the things that they say all the time is, if really thinking about it gives you agita or makes you nervous, don't think about
Stop
it
thinking
ever.
about it. Stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's like, you should really become like your own, like a vision board in your head. And
Right.
it's like,
Yeah.
truthfully,
Yes.
like you can do that by daydreaming or through your, meditation. But a lot of times it's like, wouldn't that be really great if like, thinking a better thought, better,
Better feeling thought.
yeah, better.
Yeah.
thought. I love
Well, do you know what's crazy? We talk about like that some of this is not innate, but I think, and you two don't believe this. I'm talking about people that are more skeptical, but I wanted to say something regarding, Donna, what you're just saying with your vision board, how innate it actually is in human nature. So I have a vision board in my bedroom that I just created, a couple months ago. My 9-year-old nephew came in my room and he came out and he goes, Aunt Tracy, I found your life plan in your room. I go, what? Now, let me tell you what, I have no words on it. I have nothing written anywhere. It's just pictures. How did he know that was my life plan? Like, I was like, how do you know what that is?
That's
You know
good.
what I'm saying? Isn't that fascinating?
want-
I thought
you
that
wanna-
was so fascinating.
Here's something funny. Like, here's my vision board, right?
Right.
I did this like a year ago, and so somebody was talking on my Supercharger Mindset page about vision boards, and I'm like, wow, I never did one for 2020. Oh my God, it was my fault.
Yes, it is. Whoever didn't do it, it's all your fault.
No, that's why I always say I think it's Barbara Walters' fault. I told you that.
Yeah,
For years and years and years, all she's ever done is report, horrible things, horrific things. And she's like, I'm Barbara Walters, and this is 2020. I'm like, stop saying it. Somebody's going to.
This
I
is
blame Barbara Walters
2020.
this entire year.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for putting the blame on
I had to take that
Barbara
off.
Walters. Thank
Is she
you.
still alive, by the way? We could really
She's
blame
in
her.
hiding right now.
Yes, she probably is.
Make
Oh
me
my,
blame you.
oh my. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, step 4.
Step 4. So step 4 is basically, well, I was watching somebody who said this. Step 1 is like, if you wanted to learn how to cook an egg, step 1 is like, cut the egg open. Step 2 is like, put the egg in the pot and the water just boils it. And step 3 is like, take it out and eat it. And then step 4 is like, become a sous chef. And step 5 is like, become a master chef.
Oh,
right?
cool. All right. Easy. Is that what you're
Right?
trying to tell us?
Well,
boy.
so what step 3 is 4 is a decision. It's like the art of science of deliberate creation. It's a decision. So a lot of the times, a lot of the times they'll say, if you really get off on track, right? If you just find yourself taking a dive.
Jenny's phone or Eddie's phone?
Emotionally. I'm distracted, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem. So if you find yourself taking a dive emotionally, you go to bed, right? Step 4 says, no, I can monitor the way I feel in any moment. And it's about about becoming a master at managing your emotions and staying on what they call a high flying disc, which is staying in that place of no matter what happens, my joy is the most important thing. No matter what happens, if I am not feeling joyful about this, I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to focus on something else. If I'm not feeling joyful at my job, I may not do that. But you can find something else to focus on it at any moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's very much like the Marie Kondo, for, how she explains how you should like keep things and get rid of things. If you hold it gives you joy, you keep it. If not, but it's so easy because it's not so easy, but it's really simple to actually put that into your whole life. Do you ever walk in a room and you just feel like negative energy? And how many times do you often say when you shouldn't? Just because you don't really see smoke and flames doesn't mean like your inner mechanism isn't saying there's a fire in here, you should get out. And I think a lot of people ignore that.
Right, that's true. I will say that the other day I did have a class. I did post a video on like when your family members are toxic.
Yeah, the toxic. That was a great one.
Because I do believe that there are some people that are put into our lives at real assignments, like their assignments, and then I call them master teachers. And we can't just be like to our mom, "I'm never." Well, we can, but most of the time we don't. Right. So those people, we've got to figure out a way to not notice the fire, to not notice the sick, so that we don't bring it into our energy system. But for most people, if they're toxic and the fire is starting, do you hear that? Is that in your
Chris talking?
Chris, I can hear you, honey. Okay. I'm manifesting a house with thicker walls. That's what I'm manifesting right now. Go ahead.
So, but even in that situation, in step 4, that's like, I'm not going to allow you, because nobody decides how you feel in this moment, and nobody decides. And no one gets to, one of the things I said yesterday, and I'm like, wow, that was kind of tough. I said, if you have been in a relationship or with someone for 50 years or longer, and you've had like 30 years to work on this, like if you are still finding yourself upset around those people, that's on you, right? Because I mean, there is a way that you could be in a room with somebody and still find yourself feeling joy, regardless of what they're thinking. And that's kind of like a step 4 moment, because it's tough, right? Life isn't always that easy.
That is very tough for a lot of people. Yeah. And I think that a lot of times when you connect energy through, like you talk about a cord that goes from the base to the spine, sometimes it's more like an umbilical cord. And a lot of people feel that still energetic connection to people.
Oh, yeah.
Ex-spouses, parents, like the bully from grammar school, whatever it is. And you're right. A lot of times we have to learn how to cut that cord.
Yeah, it's not even, well, I guess too, a big question is cutting that cord, but even in like a situation where it's not realistic to cut that cord. For instance, if it's a parent or a family member and you know that you're going to have to see them at least, let's say 3 times a year, how do you prep yourself? Meaning you have to deal with it. You have to deal with that energy. But there are some people, we all know them, that are just toxic, whether they know it, whether they realize it, but they always have a comment or it's like they have this innate ability to take something and say it in a way that just sets you off. And not only that, I've had situations where, they set you off and then you say to yourself, it's got to be me. I've got to deal with it. But someone will comment and go, wow, I can't believe that person said X, Y, and Z. And you're like, see, it's not just me seeing it. It's like they almost feel like they're purposely coming for you in a passive aggressive way. Right?
That's totally true. But I just want to clarify. I wasn't saying cut the cord, like don't see them. I mean, there's an emotional cord that attacks people together. So when I say that, and I love my mom. My mom watches. She, if she's here, great. I've been working on that in therapy for years, and my therapist has said, Donna, sometimes you act like, for instance, we'll be somewhere, and we've all been in a room with me and my mother, and I don't even mean this as a joke.
And it's an experience.
I mean this sincerely, right? And the thing is that sometimes she'll do something that will trigger a childlike feeling like, I can't believe she said that. That's so embarrassing. And something I've been working on for a very long time is I have to recognize that I'm not being judged by my mother's behavior. But I think for a very long time, it is so serious that so many of us, like myself, who I worry a lot about other people, worry about their feelings.
Yep.
If I know my mother says something, you know this for firsthand, Tracy,
Yes.
where you have the ability with my mother, because you're not emotionally connected to her,
Sure.
to when she says something, let it roll off your back.
Right.
For me, because she's my mother, it's like a twofold. Me as a person, I get offended because whatever she says to me, I find offensive. But me as her daughter, I might sit there and say, I can't believe this. The whole room is looking, and I'm sure they're looking like at me, like, I can't believe that's your mother. Nobody's looking at me. But the thing is it makes you feel that way emotionally.
Do you know what's so crazy? Kim,
No, go
I
ahead.
just want
Go
to say
ahead.
one thing. That is my hot button issue. Embarrassment is my hot button issue. And it's so interesting that we both chose to become comedians, because I suffer from that same thing. So my whole life, if someone that was related to me or one of my friends did something that was embarrassing, I would take on that embarrassment. And so I would be like, okay, I'll make the joke about it first. That way nobody can get in on the
Exactly.
embarrassment if I'm acknowledging it. But I do suffer from that. And I get in fights all the time, like with my boyfriend or family members. We're like, why does that behavior? It's not your behavior. I'm like, but it is. It's a reflection of me because you're with me. And I've had this fight 100 times with people. So it's very interesting.
I
to
need
me.
to tell you that what's
Shopping.
blowing me away about this is I've had 2 sessions today, and both in both of them, what we discussed was embarrassment and feeling ownership of someone else's behavior. And this is such a big topic, and this is a lot of work, right?
Yes.
Like, this is really a lot of work. This is like what I call nitty-gritty work, like, because it comes back every time. So there's a couple things I want to say. And when you have those people, like I had a certain person in my life that was in my life, well, my ex-mother-in-law, right? And in the beginning, and I still knew all the stuff I knew that I know today, but when I would be with her, I would end up crying. I'd be so upset, and that was because I didn't do the work of pre-paving, right? And so I want to just discuss what that is for a minute, because
Yeah.
when there are some people that we know, and I still have them in my life, that are going to hit our hot button. They just are every single time. And so those people, every single time, I'm going to tell you that it would get to the point with my mother-in-law that she'd call on the phone and I wouldn't answer until I did. I picture myself at the end smiling and happy and calm. Like, and I'd have to be able to get that picture in my head. And once I got it, and if it went to voicemail, I'd call her back, because I had to get that picture in my head. I had to be able to see it in my head before I could answer the phone, because so what it is when we were these energy vampires, they hook on to us and they pull it out of us, right? What we have to do is live. And then, so that's living from like outside in. We've got to make a decision before we go in and push the energy that we want out. Okay. I want to think about it pushing. So that's pre-paving and thinking about it beforehand. I'm not going to say you're not going to go in any situation and not be blindsided, because there are people who do that to us that we're not prepared for. But
Right.
a lot of the big ones, the mothers, the fathers, the sisters, the brothers, the ones that we've known that are real, I call master teachers. And my ex-mother-in-law is my master teacher. And I'm going to tell you that right before we got divorced, before we even discussed getting divorced, I had really owned my power with her. And I gotten to the point where I felt like I always stayed in my power with her. And then my relationship ended. And I always wondered, like, did I enter that marriage because she was going to be my master teacher? Because she really did teach me how to be calm in judgment space, right? How to still love myself in judgment space, how to not feel how not to feel judged, how not to allow myself the energy of judgment. So the other thing that you do with those people who are real energy vampires, because remember, the rule is, there's so many rules, but the rule in this is whatever you seek, you'll find, and whatever you focus your attention on grows, right? So these are important things to know. So before you go into situations with those people, I want you to think, what is it I like about them? And try to write a few things down. What is it I like about them? And if you could think about what you like about them, and just focus, bring yourself back to, oh, why is this person important to me? What is it I like about them? What is it I want from them? What is it that I want to experience when I'm with them? Is that Chris again?
Yeah, he's
Chris!
our master teacher.
Please, we hear everything.
Chris.
It's like he's like that monkey, like just sit and watch football. Go ahead. Anyway,
So
hot button issue. I'm blinking at you, girls. This is SOS. Go ahead.
So I think the thing is that those people the other thing I wanted to mention real quick before I go on is to go into that with expectation that you can get better at it. Like because if whatever you seek, you're going to create. Whatever you want to create, you're going to create, right? I want to get better at this. I want to stay powerful when I'm around them. I want to not let my boundaries get crossed. And no is a complete sentence. That's what I always say. No is a complete sentence.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Right? No.
No. Yeah, that's a really hard one. But that's a
Right.
great one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
the
hard to-
pre-paving is you just go in and you think of like it's going to end up in a positive way, and I
You
can see it
control-
ending or not.
You try to
ending,
think
but
about
just
what
happening.
you want from the experience. You think about what you want from the experience. You think about who you want to show up as, how you're going to be in that experience. And then there's a lot of different ways to pre-pave, but my favorite is to picture the ending and how I'm going to feel when I walk away. Because for me, it's more important about how I feel than even what happens. Like when I walk away, I'm still empowered. I'm smiling. I'm laughing, that kind of thing.
Wouldn't you say in layman's terms that pre-paving is kind of like a mental dress rehearsal?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
great.
Because
Okay.
I'm like picturing it. I'm like, it's basically like, the play is going to be great, but you want to do a dress rehearsal to get the kinks out. So for you, or not for you, but anybody watching, you just want to do it mentally. Like,
Right.
you ever sit there in your car and you're driving somewhere and you're like,
Yes.
I know this is not going to be good.
That's pre-paving.
That's pre-paving. But let me
pre-paving.
ask you this: on a pre-paving way, this would probably be negative. I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you ever have somebody where they're going to say something and you pre-plan like a rebuttal, like a real smart rebuttal, like when they say this, I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
Is that like pre-paving in a negative way?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to be like, they're not going to say anything smarmy or smirky, and I'm not going to say anything back, right?
No, but I don't think that it's about setting an agenda for what's the actual events, because it's about setting an agenda for how you're going to feel, for who you're
Okay.
going to show up as, right?
Okay.
Because I think it's more important about your staying in your power and staying in joy, right? Not because it's hard to know what someone else is going to do. And,
Yeah.
it's really hard to know. So I always feel like the more you could give to the universe and let the universe know what your expectation of your emotion is going to be, the more the universe has ability to create the best scenario. So
Okay.
Sometimes if we go into something and we create too much, we just want to kind of make it loosey, goosey. Like you want to just
This
I'm
is
gonna
going
feel
to be
so
great. Yeah, this night's going to turn out to be. This episode's going to be a great episode. It's just like simple things like that, but then you can get really in detail.
Well, as long as the detail gives you joy, right? As long as the detail gives you joy. So you could think about the details. Like I look forward to this night. I don't know why. Once I get here and into the space, I really like you guys. And I like, this is like a topic I don't actually talk about that much in my other world, because most of life coaching is getting to the point where we're ready to manifest, because we have to work through some stuff, right?
Sure.
So although you're manifesting all the time, you don't have to work through your stuff to manifest, but I like to get people to the point where they can manifest really clearly and quickly. So, but you don't have to do that. I mean, you could take through section 3 of my course and never even do section 1 or 2 and still be successful. I just want to make you awesome.
Yes. Okay. And on that note, so if you had to write a footnote, because I'm keeping notes and I know we have to hit all 5, and we're already at, oh my God, it flies.
We have 11 minutes left.
I know. Number 4 is what? What's the word you would say, or the sentence? So number 3
is
allow
it's getting really good at step 3. Number 4
mastering
is becoming an expert. Yeah, mastering 3.
Okay.
It's just really just allowing what to come, and just really in the art of allowing. Part of that rule is staying in joy, right? Like, so it's about like choosing joy no matter what. It's not just joy, like content or better. Choosing
Okay.
to like stay centered, stay grounded. What do you
Like,
want to
why
say?
do I picture popcorn? Like, I picture a kernel of popcorn. It's like you're putting out in the universe what you want. And then the popcorn, you're putting it into a situation, you're like pre-paving by putting it in a microwave. And
Right.
then the next thing you know, you have to turn the microwave on. It's like you can't just take the kernel of popcorn, put it in the microwave, close the door, and walk away. There's still more steps to it.
Right.
Mhm.
And then it's like the art of allowing is the idea that the microwave is doing its job. You no longer have to do your that job.
Yes.
You've already pressed that button. I
you
got
press
it.
the button.
All right. Well,
And that's what
10
step 2 is. Step 2 is it is given. You don't do anything, right?
That's it.
So that's what's happening in the microwave.
Okay.
And the
Right? Could you
universe
imagine we
is
kept
like
opening the door?
setting.
What?
You know, the universe is like the microwave with the popcorn setting. Years ago, you had to like figure out, calculate, calibrate.
Just push popcorn. Okay.
Popcorn.
So we have 9 minutes left, Kim. Step 5 is what?
Step 5 is reveling in contrast. So,
Oh God, reveling
Right.
in contrast.
so what
Okay.
that means is, I'm sorry, but life is not going. It's no matter how good you get at allowing the good and creating and manifesting, life is going to constantly give you contrast. That's how life is. So what that means is that stuff is going to come, and you're just going to observe it, and you're going to stay joyful regardless. You're going to observe it, and you're going to choose. You're going to observe it and choose. So step 5 is like becoming a master at manifesting. Basically, it's
Yeah.
about recognizing that life, that it's okay, that it's not all going to be exactly the way by your design, because life is going to constantly give, because it has to, because there are a lot of people, like, I think that we have to think about all of those choices out there as expanding the universe, giving us opportunity. And if we can see the better choices, and that people have made them, and that we can too, or we can create better choices for ourselves. But I think it's just about really becoming a master at manifesting.
Now,
which
master at manifesting, is that when you get clear and not so distracted by the deviations? Because one of the things that I find is that I'm like, oh, I think I would really like that, and then I would like that, and that, and that,
No.
that. And then you get like, wait a minute, what am I actually asking for? Because I've asked for 25 things in the last 5 seconds. And then
No.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is, it's knowing, it's getting excited like that. It's knowing that you could create whatever you want. It's knowing that, oh, I can think about it, I can create it. Do I really want it? Oh, there's something else I want to focus on right now. I don't think it's about stopping wanting everything. I think it's about recognizing, oh, I want all of this, and I could choose one thing to focus on and create, right? Or 2 things to focus on and create. It's about knowing that there is nothing out there that you can't have if you
Exactly.
don't focus, right? And that's what step 5 is.
Okay.
And you don't have to have a mansion, by the way, to be good at step 5. Like, you don't have, it's what you want, right? Like, so
Right.
say you want just total freedom and to live in RV. I think that's what, like, then that's what you can manifest.
Have you seen some of these RVs?
I'm
by the
out of
way?
here. Yeah.
No, really. These people are making these RVs fantastic. And old
I know.
school buses, I'm like, man, that looks like amazing. And then just hitting the road. Yeah.
Imagine
So
that. I do imagine that.
I do imagine that. Are you kidding me?
Freedom?
Or it's like the total freedom to just be like, all right, I'm ready to hit the desert. All right, now I want the beach. Now I want the mountains. Yeah, no, believe me, I'm totally there. But so then my question is on a practical level. So you revel in contrast, you know what you're doing, you kind of get the idea. How much of this is making that plan and then just letting it go, and how much of it is repetitive nature, meaning now you know these 5 steps, how often do you have to bring yourself back and check in with yourself, or do you kind of just put it out there in the universe and then press that popcorn button and then go, I'll just know it when it's ready, I'll smell it? Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you know, or how do you keep yourself motivated that it is moving in that direction?
I think that you have to find the things that work for you, right?
Mhm.
So you have to find the things that work for you, and different things work for different people. Like, so in my course, I give so much work because I want you to try to find the things that work for you. And some people hate all the writing assignments, and so they don't do any of them, but they love the thinking assignments. So I think it's about finding that nice balance of the work and making it not your life. Like, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 7 minutes a day, whatever works for you to keep you focused on joy, right? Whatever works for you to keep it. So there is some sort of level of consistency and just becoming super aware of your emotions, only the negative ones. If you're content or better, go on your merry way, right? But if you're feeling bored or worse, then knowing, I've got a job to do. I've got a job to do. And almost like getting to the point where you do not allow yourself to be bored or worse, right? And when you get to that point, you're at step 5. Now, I'm not going to lie. I've had moments of anger where I'm like, hey, I really should move beyond this anger. And I don't want to because I'm not living step 5 all the time.
Right. No one is. Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
so sometimes I'm angry and I just want to stay up all night being pissed off.
Yeah. We've all been there.
Right.
I've been there.
I do it less and less because I mean, I've been teaching this stuff for a really long time. So it's really hard to be like, you don't want to have to tell your students, oh, by the way, last night
I killed someone. I don't want to talk about it.
I remember
It's helping me bury a body.
Yeah, exactly. Please don't ask any questions. Donna, what do you? Oh, go ahead, Kim.
Somebody recently said to me, oh, but that was before you knew all this stuff. I'm like, no, that was like last
Not
month.
so much. Yeah, it's like practice.
Yeah.
Donna, what do you do in a practical way to just remind yourself to keep that everything's flowing, that everything's on its way?
Gratitude every morning. I've talked about that before, but like even the simple thing is I drive my little Volkswagen convertible. Every time I leave my driveway, even if it's cold, I put the top down. And like, because for me, I know I'm going to be in work and I feel like very much now that I'm back with the masks and this, I'm really closed in. So to give myself even a 4-minute feeling of freedom to drive to work, the top comes down, I feel the breeze in my face, my hair, and it just gives me a sense of, I feel like I'm more, I guess, one with the universe. Get yourself outside. We talk about grounding your feet. I think it's really important. Like one of the first things I did when we were sitting here, because I had a crazy day, was running around, I kicked my shoes off. Mm-hmm. Because like even having my shoes on felt confined.
Right.
Like, I don't want to do that right now. But just like little senses, little pieces of freedom anywhere I can find it.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
awesome.
I don't know about you guys, but like with this whole entire quarantine, I have really been finding myself, and there he is right now on the bottom, Archangel Michael, but I've really been finding myself, like, I don't think I've ever felt so free leaving work on a Saturday as I do now. Now, I know part of it is I haven't been doing comedy out because we really can't. I mean, it's coming soon.
Right.
But I think I'm going to try really hard to monitor where I place my energy because I love the energy I got from comedy. I love doing, performing, but there is this different sense of freedom that I have found that it's unexplainable. Like to come home and to say, you know what? I have no plans. I'm going to go work in the garden. Even if that means 5 minutes of like pulling up some weeds and then putting on music and yes, getting distracted, but I'm okay with it. Like I'm leaning into it.
Right.
As opposed to being so regimented.
Yes. I'm doing that too, where I used to always have to be like, what am I doing next? What's next? What's next? What's next? I'm just allowing myself to be like, I'm enjoying standing here washing the dishes and not thinking 50 things.
Right?
Isn't that why the universe did this? This is what I think.
Of course.
Yeah.
I just stop and just kind of enjoy our lives. I never spent so much time with my kids as I spent not rushing to baseball or basketball or lacrosse or the play or something, just like being with them.
Yes.
Right.
And I have to say, on a note that has nothing to do with anything, your kids are gorgeous, Kim. I've never seen them, but you put the picture up and I was like, wow, they're gorgeous kids. Just so you know. Before you do the angel card reading, I just want to, can I go ahead, Donna, say what you're going to say?
I just want to acknowledge that not everybody is having as easy of a time or feeling like this is like a sense of freedom. So I don't want people to think, oh, look at these girls. Like, oh yeah.
Look at these wackos.
It's not that. It's just like, honestly, we've all gone through hardships and you could either, sit and recall and talk about on repeat hardships and the hardships and the hardships. But to me, I know from putting this in practice, it's just going to create more hardships.
Exactly.
So I try to find the joy in the little things like the top down on the car or, reading to the kid, whatever. And I just try to continue that.
That is awesome. I love it. All right. I'm going to put a slate up later of these, but I'm going to say them out loud. Step 1 was asking. Step 2, it is given. Step 3, allow and become it. Step 4, staying in joy and mastering it. And step 5, revel in contrast, right?
We
Yep.
send love and light to Yogi because he's breathing.
Oh God, what's wrong with Mr. Yogi? He's
He's
active
been old. He has
tonight.
an enlarged heart, and I'm not even kidding. Like he's been
Oh,
breathing like crazy right now.
oh, no. All right. We're sending love and light to Mr. Yogi.
But I'm gonna
The
do this.
cutest guy. Go ahead.
No, Kim was about to close her eyes and send my dog love and light.
I
Oh, I'm sorry. Go
I
ahead.
love you.
Okay. Just close your eyes, everybody. Just picture Yogi and just imagine that you send a beam of light right from the center of your heart into Yogi's heart. And just imagine all of that light going in and going to every cell in his
Yes.
body, and just lifting every cell up and creating space for breath and space for healing. Amen.
Thank you. Amen.
Amen,
You're
Mr. Yogers.
Yeah,
He's my favorite.
He's getting old.
I love
All right.
it. Go for
One
it.
of you ladies is gonna tell me to stop first tonight.
I am. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it tonight. Here we go. Come on, Donna V. No whammies. Stop. Big money. Big money. No whammies. Go ahead.
Big money.
Romance.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Love, exciting and new. What does
What
it say?
nature? Oh, where's that happening?
Nature in the woods. We're gonna run into a
Woods.
nymph. I'm excited.
I feel like it's like manifesting the game Clue. Like Chris is gonna be in the garden if he keeps moving.
More noise. He's going out to the eggplants. Go
All right,
ahead.
ready, Kim Mazzella?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Ooh. Stop.
All right. Freedom. What you just talking about?
Freedom.
Yeah,
You
that's
just want
awesome.
your
I love that one.
freedom.
I'll take that one.
An enchantment.
Ooh.
I have a good week coming up. Yay.
Yes, you do.
Are you going on vacation?
No, but
Oh,
You might be. You might be. That
Maybe.
RV is going to roll up.
I don't know why I thought you were going away.
no. It's so funny because my boyfriend's going away and I have like a weekend to do nothing and I can't wait.
That's freedom.
It'd be great.
Not that I don't love him, but
You're like, but I love my freedom.
All right, I'm going to pick this one for myself and everybody else.
All right, go ahead, Donovan. Do it.
We're doing a group for everybody. I know everybody loves that. My aunt is here. Dawn Maloney. Christina said, okay, she's talked to us. Dawn, what else? Sam Gatto.
Yes. Hey, Sam.
Sam says hello. We have a lot of people watching.
Awesome.
Okay, this is for all of us.
This is for everybody.
All right.
This is for all the lonely people.
I don't know, Christina. It could be for you. You know, get ready with that closet empty or whatever. Body care.
Body care. Do it, girls. Body care.
That could be it. You got to feel good about yourself, Christina, because if you don't, no one else will.
That's right.
Playfulness is another huge
That's
one.
a great one.
Yes.
Have a little fun.
Have a little fun, Christina.
Get silly, girl.
Yeah,
Get silly and do some body care. That
Yeah,
sounds good.
exactly.
You're like, get crazy.
Take a bath and watch some comedy.
But don't bring this television into your bathtub.
No. Don't.
That would be fun.
So let's remind them, and my Aunt Cecilia said she's going to the gym tomorrow. Let's remind everybody again where they can find us, Tracy, and then this way.
Yes. Okay. So we have a brand new Facebook page. It is called Manifesting Mondays on Practical Magic. We also have an Instagram page of the same name. Again, Manifesting Mondays on Practical Magic. We will be soon having a YouTube page, and we are also working on podcasting. So I'm going to keep you guys posted on that. All right.
Nice.
Yes.
So
Excellent.
next week, what are we doing? What are we talking about next week? Do we know?
Did we? I don't remember. What do you guys want to talk about?
Oh, it's Kim. You know what? Can we? Well, we'll talk about one of the things we have on the list, but I would like to touch more again on embarrassment, dealing with that a little bit, because that is such a hot topic and so many people talk about that. So we don't have to talk about that all tomorrow. I mean,
I
next
do
week.
love that idea of
Holding on to certain things, right?
Yeah. Only
Yeah,
because, again, people write to me and have questions that they want asked to you. And as you said, that's like a hot button for so many people of like, how do you separate yourself from other people's behavior?
Yeah. Well, you know what you could do? If you like our page, you could post a question with your
Yes.
name, and maybe it'll get picked and be a topic for one of the nights. So go to the page, like our page, follow our page, share our page, and make sure to post your questions, and we will check it out.
Yes. On Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, tell a friend, You
Yep.
guys have been amazing. Thank you for a great night, girls. I got a lot out of this. I'm
I
gonna go
know.
write those
Thank you so
steps
much.
and stick 'em.
Joanne says, "Can you pick a card for me, Donna?" All right, this is it for Joanne.
All right, drum roll.
Healing,
Healing.
and again, it's the nature. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful evening.
Namaste.
Namaste.